Well, here we go again. Another boatload of releases launching, dropping very soon. If they haven't already, you're going to find out what they are. All coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yes, we're talking about some exciting new releases. Some great houses here. A lot of designers actually. Not so much a niche, but also some smaller brands that I follow, and I'm always curious to discover what they're launching. So the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about hasn't officially been announced, but I'm a big fan of commodity fragrances, and they're launching something looks like fruity and juicy from all of the posts they're posting on Instagram. As I said, I'm a fan of the house. I love milk and I love moss and a few other fragrances, especially whiskey and nectar. Those are really, really great fragrances. So they're launching something new and I'm excited for it. Have you guys seen what they have been posting on their Instagram account? Go check it out if you're on Instagram. But yeah, it looks like it's something fruity, maybe juicy. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited for it. So we'll find out and I'll post about it here as soon as I hear the name. I believe the announcement's happening sometime in the middle of June. But look for that one to launch soon. So the next fragrance is from the house of ACQUA di Parma, Oud and ZAGARA. ZAGARA, I believe, refers to orange blossom or citruses. And this one seems like it's going into an oudy, citrusy direction. Is it going to smell like Jo Malone's Oud and Bergamot? Kind of sounds like it might be in that direction, but obviously this is different. It's a different house and they're probably, and most likely they're using a different perfumer. But this has notes of Ambergris, Bergamot, Cistus, lemons, musk, nutmeg, oud, saffron, orange blossom, Suede, Vetiver, Ylang-Ylang. A lot of other notes. And obviously also this is probably going to be Eau de Parfum concentration. And of course the Jo Malone is Eau de Cologne intense concentration. I'm a bit cautious about this one. The last fragrance they launched, Mandarino de Sicilia, this one right here. This I actually bought from Neiman's recently, part of their $dollars off promotion. I needed a certain amount to make the threshold to get a larger discount. I was talked into it, and I am despising this fragrance, unfortunately. Have you guys tried this one? Something is strangely metallic. It's almost like, it smells nice out of the cap, but when you're wearing it on skin, it has a strange metallic bloody smell, which really is turning me off. I don't know why. I'm actually going to test it out 1 or 2 more times, and if I don't like it, I'm going to try and return that back, because I enjoy this house and their fragrances, but this one's completely disappointing. But moving on to Gucci Flora Gorgeous Orchid. This is probably now five different flankers in this series. By the way, if I haven't mentioned, my mom's name is Flora, so I always am excited when I see a fragrance called Flora. But either way, it's ozonic notes, vanilla orchid, and vanilla. Those are the notes, so it seems like it's going to go into a fresh, warm direction. Ozonic notes creating that kind of crisp, fresh, watery effect. And then, of course, vanilla orchid and vanilla together. So kind of floral, vanillic, exciting sounding. We'll see how it is. Let me know if you're a fan of this collection and Gucci in general. But moving on to the house of SOSPIRO, it's TRAVIATA. This is a great house. I really love this house and I'm looking forward to this one. It's citruses, amber, cedar, patchouli, fruity notes, spices, blossoms, herbal notes, and lavender. What do you guys think of this one? Did you guys like the last release in this series, the maraschino? I liked it. It wasn't as a wow like, Dolce Melodia is, but I'm curious to try TRAVIATA. But moving on to the house of TRUDON, Maison TRUDON, who is known for candles mostly, but they do have fragrances as well. This one's called ISLA. It's created by Emilie Bouge. It's amber, vetiver, musk, bergamot blossom, mint, rosemary, lemon petitgrain, bergamot, cardamom, and grapefruit. The reason they're distinguishing lemon petitgrain versus petitgrain comes traditionally from the bitter orange tree. It's the leaves. So we've got something with lemon as well, which they should smell similar and then also different as well. So this one actually sounds quite nice. I really want to get my nose on it. And there are some great creations in this series of fragrances, so we'll see how it is. So GUERLAIN has I believe, a Middle East exclusive fragrance created by Delphine Jelk. It's called Rose AMIRA. And so it features notes of frankincense, musk, patchouli, and rose. Do you guys know about this fragrance? So I'm excited for this, but it is, I believe, a Middle East exclusive. So we'll see how it all is. But let me know if you guys are fans of Delphine Jelk, or do you prefer the fragrances of Terry Wasser. If you haven't caught my video with Terry Wasser, I have a chit chat with him. Go catch that video. But also heard from the grapevine that the L'Art et la Métier collection is adding a patchouli fragrance. Has anybody heard about this one? And from what I heard, it's created by Terry Wasser. This was by somebody I know that works in the industry, not necessarily for Guerlain, but more for retail. Let's see how that is. But Rose AMIRA, I'm looking forward to testing if I can get my nose on it. And then the patchouli fragrance for the L'Art et la Métier collection sounds really, really exciting. Big fan of patchouli, obviously. But, you know, honestly, I should say, this fragrance has also gotten discontinued recently, I found out. This is Oud Cole, this one right here. I guess it didn't work. I have Oud Nude from that trio of fragrances, which also includes Cherry Oud. My favorite of the three is Oud Nude. Second favorite is Oud Cole. But apparently the Cherry Oud is very popular and I don't care for it. Go figure. So we'll see what happens. But moving on to the house of M. Micallef, it's Désir Toxic L'Intense. I did a video with Joe on the house. It's 2 videos. We went through the whole line that's currently sold out there in the world, and Désir Toxic was definitely a favorite of mine, and now they're launching an intense version created by Terry Romeo. I don't know who this perfumer is, but it's cannabis, tonka beans, saffron, cinnamon, cardamom, blackcurrant, mint, moss, patchouli, musk, bergamot, and lemons. Who's a fan of this house? Let me know. Put a comment down below so I can find out. Always interested in the intense takes on a fragrance, a highly concentrated take on a fragrance. Will this be an extrait de parfum? Because I believe the original is eau de parfum. But moving on to the house of Fleur, P-H-L-U-R, Soft Spot, created by Honorine Blanc. Are you familiar with this house? Do you like their fragrances? They are sold at Sephora, I believe, quite a bit. And this one features musk, jasmine, sandalwood, vanilla orchid, bergamot, freesia, amber, water lily, mandarin. I like these kind of fragrances where they're not uber intense, but they're a really pleasure to wear, kind of powdery, floral, woody, you know, slightly sweet and things like that. So this one definitely sounds really great. I like some of the fragrances from Fleur. And we'll always check out what they're doing with their fragrances. Seems like they use quite a bit of Firmenich perfumers. If you haven't noticed their fragrances, when they report on who the perfumer is, it's always turning out to be Firmenich, and Honorine Blanc is a Firmenich perfumer. But moving on to the house of Donna Karan, it's DKNY 24/7. Are you familiar with this house? Recently they were dropped by Estee Lauder. It's not recently, like 2 or 3 years ago, and they are now under Interparfums, which has brands like Van Cleef & Arpels and various other brands. Well, I'm drawing a blank right now, but it's rose, cedar, musk, and pink pepper. So we'll see how Donna Karan's fragrances are. I never got to sample the exclusive collection that she launched. I can't find those fragrances anywhere. And it seems like kind of sort of like the fragrances that Estee Lauder launched, their exclusive collection, which I do have a video airing soon on that line. Very, very soon. Stay tuned for that. I know I'm a little late, but nobody's talking about that collection. There are a few great fragrances in that exclusive collection for Estee Lauder. But I'm also curious to try this fragrance, brand new, 24/7, and also the 4, like, they were like cashmere mist focused fragrances or something in that line, but more upper scale. If you've gotten your nose on them, please report back, put a comment down below so we can find out. So this is a house I haven't spoken much about recently. It's the house of Ceruti from Italy, I believe. I think it's Italy or France. Could be either. But they have more classic fragrances that I'm familiar with. The line is, I'm drawing a blank with the line. But this new one, Vivo, sounds pretty exciting. It's ginger, apples, sesame, ambroxan, vetiver, saffron, rum, marigold, cardamom, pink pepper. Now remember, I did a video recently, a perfumer mentioned in that video sesame seeds are popular. I am seeing them pop up quite a bit here and there for notes in fragrances. This one sounds fun. It's fruity, boozy, woody, spicy. curious to check it out. Hopefully it's going to be good. And speaking of smaller houses, Angel Schlesser has a new fragrance called Mysterious Amber. I did a video on 3 of the fragrances in this series, Patchouli, Rose, and Leather, and now we have an Amber, and I believe there was already a vanilla that was launched since I did that video. This fragrance, Mysterious Amber, is created by Marie Salamagna. It's amber, oak moss, Virginia cedar, jasmine, osmanthus, sugarcane, pink grapefruit, raspberry. Another Firmenich perfumer. Firmenich does get around, don't they? They have a lot of perfumers working there, and a lot of brands go directly to Firmenich most likely. And this one, I'm an amber lover, so we shall see how it is. Out of the 3 that I've already reviewed, if you haven't caught that video, go catch it. They're sold for around $40 to $50 to $60 per 100 ml. It's a designer. But a less expensive designer. But the patchouli in that trio of fragrances I reviewed is my favorite. It's a great smelling fragrance. But this one, Amber, we'll see how it is. Moving on to the house of Tamine, it's Bold as Love, a fragrance created by Pierre Negrin. It's interesting how Christopher Chong was with Amouage, and so I guess they fired him or they let him go from Amouage. He went to Tamine, and he's kind of working with the same perfumers he worked on fragrances over at Amouage, which is kind of cool, because this fragrance is created by Pierre Negrin, who's done Interlude Man, one of the most popular Amouage fragrances. So this is a fragrance that features notes of patchouli, smoked leather, vetiver, geranium, juniper berry, lavender, ginger, mandarin, pineapple, and apples. This one is in the Britolone collection in the clear, soft, frosted looking bottles, and I'm curious to get my nose on this one. I do enjoy the collection. They are definitely on the lighter side though. But moving on to the house of Chopard, it's Leather Malaki. Before I talk about Leather Malaki, just stay tuned for a video on the entire series of fragrances from Chopard, the Malaki series. There's 6 in the video that I'm gonna shoot very soon actually. I know you guys have been asking me for a while, and I bought all 6, and by the time I bought all 6 and received them, this was announced. But either way, Leather Malaki features notes of bergamot, nutka, cypress, smoky notes, leather, mineral notes, black pepper. What are your thoughts on this collection? Chopard is not a very widely distributed brand. You can find their fragrances at discounters, but I never see them anywhere like at the retailers here around me. But if you're a fan of the Chopard Malaki fragrances, let me know. I've had Oud Malaki for the longest time, probably for about 10 years. But I bought a new one and bought all the remaining fragrances in the Malaki series, and stay tuned for a video on that series. But on that collection. But if you're a fan, do also let me know. Put a comment down below and let me know your thoughts if you're interested in sampling Leather Malaki. So going to the indie niche house of Indult, they have a reformulation relaunch of one of their former fragrances called Izvaraya. So if you don't know the house, they have a very popular vanilla fragrance called Tihota. I have a video on the 4 fragrances on the channel. Go catch that video. But all the fragrances were created by Francis Kurkdjian. And this redo is also created by Francis Kurkdjian. I'm surprised because now he's the in-house perfumer over at Dior. And so I guess he's allowed to redo fragrances he's done in the past. That's why he's done the redo of Izvaraya, which is kind of cool. This is elemi resin, patchouli, oak moss, jasmine, amber, plum tree, and labdanum. Sounds really, really exciting. Yeah, go check out my video on the House of Indult. Maybe you know Tihota because that's the most popular in the collection, but I'm curious to see what Izvaraya 2024 is all about, especially the fact that I am a fan of Francis Kurkdjian. Let me know if you are and you know the brand Indult. And if you've sampled Izvaraya or Tihota, put a comment down below. Moving on to the house of 4711, we've got a fragrance in the Acqua Colonia series called Yuzu and Cedarwood, a fragrance created by Angeline Leporini. And basically it's cedarwood and yuzu. This is a very fresh collection. It's eau de cologne style fragrances. They were very light. I like the idea of combining a zingy, spicy, a bit salty, fresh note of yuzu with the the woodiness of the cedarwood note. Most likely it's going to wear very fresh and simple, simplistic. And some of you like these fresh fragrances. This could be perfect for summertime. Moving on to the House of Parfums and Nicolai, we've got Victoire. This is a limited edition for the Paris 2024 Olympics. Definitely avoid Paris when the Olympics is happening. It's going to be crazy there. But this fragrance, along with all the fragrances for Parfums de Nicolai, are created by Patricia de Nicolai. This is notes of amber, gaiac wood, oak moss, white musk, floral notes, green tea, bergamot, fig leaves, mandarin yuzu. I don't know how limited edition this is going to be. It sounds really great. I'd like to get my nose on it. Hopefully, I'll be able to get my nose on it, because if it's very limited, then I might not be able to. We'll see. But the next fragrance is from the house of Versace. It's Eros Energy. Now, I'm not a fan of this collection. I wore the red one, the previous version. I enjoyed it. I never bought the original Eros. Hated it. But this sounds good. Citrusy. And the bottle is just gorgeous. I love the color of the bottle. But it's musk, oak moss, patchouli, blackcurrant, pink pepper, white amber, blood orange, grapefruit, bergamot, lemons, lime, mandarin orange. So it sounds like it's going to be very citrusy and fresh. I hope it smells good and realistic and not very synthetic, because sometimes for me the Versace Eros series smells quite synthetic. But let me know your thoughts. Has anybody gotten their nose on this one? Put a comment down below so I can find out. And last but not least, we've got YSL's Myself Le Parfum. God, they've already got a Le Parfum. Not even been a year. So it's black pepper, orange blossom, vanilla bourbon infusion. Did you guys like the original, the first one that came out here with this series? So I think they're continuing the orange blossom, and I believe it was in the original. The original had that kind of molecular kind of an effect, kind of with the ambroxan type notes in there. So now we're going to a vanilla bourbon infusion, like a warmer, warmer place with the parfum version, with an additional note of black pepper. It seems to be simplistic, but this one might actually be a little better than the other one. The other one, it was very average release for me, but I'm quite curious to get my nose on this version with the whole fact that there's vanilla bourbon featured in it. And that's the last fragrance I'm talking about. What are your thoughts on these new fragrances? And is there something else that I missed that was already announced as well? Put a comment down and let me know what it is. And let me know which ones of these are you excited about. Put a comment down so I can find out. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please put it down in the comment section. Otherwise, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. So I've got two more fragrances here from the house of Carvan that I left off here for the bonus section because it comes in a duo, a male and a female. So this C'est Paris or Paris collection of fragrances in the Elixir concentration. We've got Elixir pour Homme and Elixir pour Femme. The Elixir pour Homme features Costus. Are you guys a fan of Costus? Costus is not a very good note. I don't really care for it much in fragrances, and I don't know what it's doing here in a designer fragrance. Costus, benzoin, cedar, hazelnut, tonka, violet leaves, cypress, lemons, and rosemary. Costus is very animalic to me, and it smells like a dirty body. Ugh. It comes up in fragrances and creates this really stinky musk. So I don't know how much they're using in this fragrance. We shall see. But I'm excited and also very cautious about it. But then we've got the feminine version, Elixir pour Femme, pralines, vanilla, patchouli, moss, freesia, gardenia, jasmine, grapefruit, rhubarb, pink pepper. This is a brand that doesn't get around much here in the States. Most likely the fragrances end up at the discounters where we pick them up from. Kind of like Mauboussin, which is a great house for great fragrances from France, a jewelry house. But we don't see them in the stores, and they end up at the the discounters. But this series is not as exciting as some of the fragrances from Mauboussin. But always curious to see. Let me know if you've gotten your nose on these fragrances, what your thoughts are on them. Put a comment down below, and stay tuned for another video tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.